Now, there's three gifts that I want to give to you for attending this session. So the first one is I want to expand your consciousness in terms of the importance of corporate culture. The second gift I want to give to you are the opportunities that you can have in your organization when you invest in something called cultural capital. Cultural capital is the new technology coming in the age of consciousness, which is what we are moving into right now. We're leaving the age of information and we're moving into the age of consciousness. And the third gift that I want to give to you as HR professionals is our tools, how to build a conscious, high-performing, values-driven workplace culture. Because many organizations today are going through change. They're going through cultural transformation. Now, what is culture? Well, very simply, culture is how you do things, how you treat each other, how you are treated, the communication styles, right? Now, if you are not consciously creating your culture, then what you have is an unconscious default culture. And who is creating that unconscious default culture? Do they have the best interest for your stakeholders in your organization? So why is culture so important? Because internally, what you are experiencing is your culture. But externally, it's your brand. It's what your clients are experiencing. It's the quality of brand loyalty. It's what's attracting the top talent to your organization. The values that you live in your organization, if they are your brand, what's the legacy that you want to leave behind? What do you want to be known for? And how are you living your values in such a way that people will experience it? Every time you pick up the phone and you're speaking to a client, can they feel the values that you are living in your organization, in your corporate culture? Values are just not something that's on the wall, but how do you actually practice them day in and day out? And the importance is that there can't be two standards, one for the leaders and one for staff. Because how the leaders walk the talk, the values that they model, are they not demonstrating to staff what's important? True, isn't it? So there has to be one standard for values in terms of the behaviors that you're going to see. If you are expecting people to change their behavior in any way, you are asking them to change the culture. Okay? So that's why cultural change is so important. And if you're not doing it consciously, then how are you doing it to the most effective way possible? Right? Since I've been in Singapore, what I've discovered about the culture here is that the turnover rate is 20 to 30%. Now, when you think about it, the cost of somebody leaving an organization is between 80 and 200% of their salary. So what makes it acceptable to have turnover of 20 to 30%? So when it comes to corporate culture, if you had a culture that was able to keep people and retain them because you're caring for them, that could have a huge cost savings on your organization. Why isn't everybody getting up in the morning going, yes, I'm just like energized to want to run into work? Now that's high engagement. That's really feeling passionate about your job. And if you're not feeling that way, my question to you is, why not? What is happening in your workplace culture that you don't feel that level of engagement? Are you able to live your personal values in the workplace? Because if you're not, it means you're having to park a part of yourself at the front door before you walk in the morning. And you're missing perhaps the best part of yourself because you're not able to live it. I had one person at a session, she said, you know what, enthusiasm is a value that I can't bring into work. How much does that impact you not to be able to bring that value of enthusiasm into work? And she said about 20%. So how can you transform your workplace culture to one that is engaging, where people can bring their personal values into the workplace? and to be able to offer that value and that energy to you. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. And if your corporate culture is not in alignment with your strategies, it's going to be very difficult to be successful. So that's why I help organizations create conscious cultures. To be very clear and to be very intentional with the kinds of values and behaviors so that you can create a desired workplace culture that's going to enable you to achieve your success, those goals and strategies you've put together. What I am seeing again and again is something called cultural insanity. Now, we all know Einstein's definition for insanity, right? To continue doing the same things and expecting different results. Well, this is what I'm seeing in a lot of organizations. The leaders maintain the same leadership style, the same communication style, the same ways of making decisions. Oh, but they want increased engagement and higher productivity. To me, that's cultural insanity. Like, how can you expect different behaviors, but you're maintaining the same leadership style? So who has to change? Organizational transformation begins with the personal transformation of the leaders. Because organizations don't change. It's the people in them who do. Wouldn't you agree? So it's the people in them who need to change. And who are the most impactful, influential people in an organization? The leaders. Framework for cultural transformation. And it's the ABC of high performance. A, awareness through measurement. So what we do is we have cultural values assessments. We can actually assess a workplace culture. Now, culture is typically intangible. Wouldn't you agree? Trust, respect, loyalty. It's hard to put that into something concrete, right? I can't put it in a box and give it to you. However, with these assessments, it gives you the data. Very powerful report, but it only takes 3 questions. People to answer 3 questions takes about 15 minutes, and the power in terms of the data that you receive. And what do you do with it? Well, B is for belongingness. Belongingness through engagement. Now, we all know when you engage people in the process of change, the impact that that has. They feel part of it. Instead of being done to, they are empowered. But another reason is they know the why. Resistance to change can happen for 3 reasons. First is, I don't know why. Why are you asking me to change? So they don't have enough data. The second is emotional fear. I don't know what's going to happen to me. Am I going to lose my job? What relationships am I going to lose? Will I be good enough? Okay? And the third reason people resist change is trust. Do they trust the leaders who are leading it? So when you debrief the results of a cultural values assessment, you're engaging people. They're connecting. And guess what? They're talking about their values. Values, your personal values, are the language of the heart. And when people talk about their values, they're making a heart connection. And when you make a heart connection, what are you doing? You are building trust with that other person. Okay? The third, the C is for commitment. Commitment through alignment. When people talk about their values and they look at this data and they talk about the desired workplace culture, you create shared visions and shared values. And then people know where they're going, they know why they're going there, and they've got the engagement and the levels of trust. So it's an awesome combination. Values are at the heart of it. Values create your culture. Your culture directly impacts employee engagement, the level of employee engagement. The level of employee engagement directly impacts client engagement and client satisfaction. At the end of the day, stakeholder value, shareholder value, and it all starts with your values. When you are living your personal values, you are energized because your personal values are a source of life force energy. Like the air we breathe and the food we eat, our personal values energize us. You just have to think about a personal value and your energy goes up. So imagine an organization being able to capture all that energy and enable people to live their personal values in alignment with the organizational culture. Imagine how much more powerful it would be, and energized and high-performing and engaged, simply by enabling people to live their personal values. So this is the importance of the assessment, is to make people conscious, especially the leaders in the organization, of what are the personal values of people. Okay? When organizations invest in their workplace culture, they are creating cultural capital. Because your workplace culture is probably one of the most important, valuable resources that you have in your workplace. Creating a share of heart. When you show people they care, then they care about you. It's reciprocal. Okay? How many people here would change companies and buy a product from a company that was making a difference? Surveys are showing 72% of consumers switch brands when they find out about a product that is making a difference. It is who we are today. Our consciousness has risen above where the organizations are operating from. And it's up to the organizations to lift their consciousness and operate from where their staff and their employees are, to increase engagement and productivity. So here are some of our solutions. I promised you tools, right? I promised you solutions as HR professionals. The first solution is a 2-day workshop that we have. And this 2 days goes over the process. What is cultural transformation? What is cultural capital? It links, it shows how to link your culture to your performance and your profitability, okay? It provides a methodology, a 9-step methodology in 2 phases, preparing for change and actually implementing change. And we've got a DVD now that actually captures that 2-day workshop in 8 modules over the 2 days. The second solution is consulting. We go in and we actually do the assessment with you, with your organization. So if you're an organization that wants to evolve your workplace culture, these assessments are a great tool to be able to help you understand who you are, what is your current culture, and what's the desired. You're able to map, measure, and manage that workplace culture. And the best part is you're actually engaging staff in the process of change right from the very beginning all the way through so that they feel empowered and part of it. And you're creating a shared vision with shared values all along the way. The next solution is conscious leadership communication skills. So not only am I a professional facilitator, but I'm also a yoga instructor and a meditation instructor. So for the past 15 years, I've been leading people in personal transformation, not just organizational transformation. Because as I mentioned, it starts in here, right, when it comes to transformation. So I have to be able to do it first and enable leaders to do it as well. So conscious leadership communication skills, very important to be able to teach leaders how to design engaging communications. It's not just good enough to have fly by the seat of your pants facilitation skills. As a leader, you need to learn how to design a conversation that's going to really bring people in and help them feel included and engaged in the process. And then the fourth solution is core strengths, really understanding what are your motivational values. If you don't want to do the whole organizational assessment, a 1-day strength deployment inventory will help people develop that self-awareness, but also awareness of others. What not only motivates you, but what motivates them? Why are they behaving that way? It's so different from me, right? So focusing on your values works. Creating a desired culture works. And I have seen it again and again and again. And it's why I wrote the book called Conscious Culture. It works.